to That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. And what do you know? This is really the last kind of original talk about the week that was in professional wrestling show. We are almost upon Christmas holiday time and the end of the year time.
Even with the holidays and stuff, we've really got our shit together. We've never missed a show in like 3.5. So if you got family you don't want to deal with, you can just pop on YouTube, pull up Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever, and your buddies will be here.
We may not always have the hottest of takes or the most entertaining, but we're dependable.
How dare you? How dare you? You're terrible at this.
I say not always. Not every
saying. Come
not
on.
Every show
we
is
got
going to be a
take.
gold member.
We got the coolest people. Hottest
and
take.
me
and Joe. How are you?
And Joe.
And me. We got the best takes, the coolest people, and Joe.
No, we have hot takes, cool people, and Joe. Maybe that'll go.
That's a good shirt.
25 T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. And Kevin should be here too.
Yeah.
He should be here shortly. We'll put that on the back of the shirt, maybe. But let's get into it, guys.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I think needed to talk about is Saturday night's main event. The three of us last week talked about how excited we were.
Yeah.
And I just want to get your thoughts, guys. There's a lot that went down. We obviously had a lot of idea of how it was going to look, how it going to come across in the old school style and presentation. Jay, you can start us off, man. Just what was your expectations going in? I know I was excited, and then did it meet those expectations?
One thing did not. Would you like to guess what that was? Joe, we'll start with you.
That would be Pat McAfee.
No.
Well, see, with you, it's like that would be my guess.
Yeah.
What did I not like about Saturday night's main event?
I'll say, because it's something that goes for me too, the post Cody Kevin Owens angle not being on the show and being, if you popped on Twitter later.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think you
what I did not like, it was retro Saturday night's main event. No promos to open the show like they used to do. They used to go to the good guy locker room and the bad guy locker room and the good guy backstage and the bad guy backstage and like the outside, and none of that.
It was weird because I think they put that on their socials too, though. Like I saw like little clips of like Liv Morgan.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, but it wasn't on the show. You're right.
Yeah, I remember they did that, Brian, to the one we went to when they brought it back in 2006 at Kobo. Yeah. They had the good guy locker room and the bad guy, and they did the promos to start it off with.
They used Jesse like I thought they would. Talking head at the desk, in the stands. Tessitore was a great Mean Gene.
Yeah. Did you think he did good?
Oh, yeah.
Jesse?
And the fact that Jesse called out Cody for cheating.
Yeah.
Love that.
It was classic. Classic Jesse. That's what he would always do back in the day.
Last week, we talked about how I may or may not know somebody who works at WWE to find out if they were piping in New Day booing. If I had that type of person. And moving forward to earlier today, it's Thursday as we're recording, if I were to have a person that worked at WWE, I could text them, and I did text them.
In theory.
In theory.
It's Austin Theory?
I'm like, did you work main event? And he may or may have not said, I was with Jesse all day.
Wow. What a cool gig that would have been in theory.
Wild shit.
Conspiracy theory galore.
He's amusing but exhausting, allegedly, or possibly, if I knew somebody that worked there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all hypotheticals we're talking.
Yeah, I mean, look, they used him right. They didn't have him on every match. He was who he was, and it was all right. I mean, the matches itself, I would have loved a title change. Chelsea Green doesn't count, but that's still cool.
Yeah.
I believe in the history of Saturday night's main event, there's only been 2 title changes.
They said that a few times.
And did you know Raw is going to Netflix? January
Yes.
6th?
When?
January 6th.
That's going to be a riot. Not at the Capitol or nothing, but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be that good of a show.
Oh, come on.
I just made that connection like last week. I was like, oh God, January 6th.
My wife did too.
Yeah.
Is it on January 6th? I'm like, yes, but it's in LA, not in DC. Trump has nothing to do with this one.
Yeah.
But overall, it was good. I enjoyed it. Whether it was PLE light or network special adjacent, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it live because I had my own show to call, which Doc got covered in cake, and it was awesome. I laughed my ass off. And
was it his birthday sort of thing?
Like,
somebody else's birthday, and then a
okay.
bad guy got hit with the cake. And when he came up the ramp, he just smothered Doc's dress shirt.
Oh.
And I was hoping it'd be on camera, but I took a swipe of the cake off of his shirt and ate it.
Nice.
It did not make
did
not make the tape. So overall, Saturday was a good day for wrestling.
Yeah, I'm
And
glad to hear that too with the indie show. That's cool.
And Collision.
Yeah. And Collision was on too, correct. I really liked it too. Yeah, I a lot of the same things he said. I don't disagree on it. Like I going into it going, somebody has to lose a title. And it didn't happen. And I think if they would have ran that KO beatdown stretcher angle on the show, I would have, when the show went off the air, went like, oh, okay, we're cooking now. We're cooking. Because, Joe,
why,
we were texting.
Right? You know
what's
why?
that?
Mm-hmm.
You know why they did it that way? Because the next couple weeks of TV are already recorded. So they needed to throw in to make it. Yeah.
I just left, me and Joe and Kevin were texting, and we were all like, kind of a weird ending. Kind of a weird ending. Like when it went off the air, like, oh, okay, all right. And then you check Twitter an hour later, and it's like, look what happened. So I just thought that was weird decision to do that. But good for Chelsea Green. That was really cool. Really, really cool. And yeah, Jesse, like you said, Jay, like him being that guy, he was always that guy to just call it like he sees it, as far as going like, Rhodes used the chair, not Kevin. It was like, this is exactly what he would do with like, Hogan did that. It was so
Jesse
good.
Sounds a lot like me on commentary.
Oh, wow. High praise.
You can check the tape, yeah.
Yeah. Joe, but what else you thinking about how this went down for you?
Well, I like that they brought back the red, white, and blue ropes.
Yes.
Yeah. I was very happy about that. It was like a PLE light. I do agree with that one. It was weird to see a PLE type of event where the matches were all like 11 minutes. We didn't have any like 30-minute like spree. It was just like boom, boom to the point. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked them that short.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to drag out that long sometimes. That's one. The only thing I didn't like about it, and it's no one's fault, commercial breaks. I mean, it takes away from it. It really does, but there's nothing you can do about that. It is on NBC and Peacock. You got to have the commercial break. So I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to the 25th. And if they're going to do it like that 4 times a year, that's something to look forward to. Big win for them on Saturday night. Except for, again, no title changes. I would have liked to have seen Gunther lose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He kind of recaptured the old Gunther a little bit there.
Did he?
No. Yeah, when he power bombed Priest on the stairs outside, and then went in the ring and just destroyed Finn with his drop kick and power bomb, I was like, okay, that's the guy.
I felt like he was the fifth wheel in that match.
He probably was.
But that's the problem. He's the champion. He should be the focus.
Yeah.
Well, for me, that match, the focus was the emo taker, aka Damian Priest.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He started dressing like Undertaker, a little more black. Did the old school rope jump. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, he did old school. Yep.
Yeah. The one other thing I took away from it was when you looked at that footage of the social media Kevin Owens beatdown and Cody being stretchered out. if you listen, some of the crowd was chanting, "You deserve it," as he's being
coming.
stretchered out. That
coming.
caught my ear. Yeah, and so what do you think? Is this something maybe the crowd's starting to turn a little bit, or do you think one-time thing that it's probably not going to amount to anything?
It's been 3.5 years. Good guy Cody taking pictures, signing autographs on his way to the ring. Um, Common sense Kevin. Here we go again. Here we go again.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe, what do you think, man? Because that made a point to me going, interesting.
Oh, that's what happens when someone a baby face gets hot for too long. The crowd turns on him. You like they say in The Dark Knight, you live long enough to become the villain. Will he go Two-Face? Oh, by the way, Dark Knight is a comic book movie, Brian. It's one of the Batman ones.
DC, not Marvel.
Yeah, I know, but
That
it's
one
still a
I've
Batman one.
yeah.
It's still a comic book movie, and yeah, it won an Oscar.
Love that.
I saw that one. That one's one that again Jay said, "Holy shit, you got to see this," and I did in the theaters. We're talking this is the Joker one, right? With
Heath Ledger,
Ledger.
Yeah, with Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
Batman 89 is by far the best.
That's probably a top 5 movie for me.
Wow.
And then I saw the next one that was it Dark Knight Rises or
Not so great.
Returns.
Yeah, that one's okay.
Because that one was filmed in Pittsburgh. So we saw Hines Ward return a kickoff. The stadium blows up. It's great fun for the whole family.
Yeah, and where Bane held his rally is where we got our wedding photos taken. So
That's right. Yes.
not because of that, not because of my love for Batman 89, but
yeah, all good things. Yeah, I don't know. So that's gonna be interesting. I'll be very curious how this plays out with Cody. If the fans kind of go, Kevin Owens is right. Screw
No,
you,
I want to see a faction of Kevin, Drew, and Seth. I really do. I want them all to just get together and be like, they all have common sense, and they're not bad guys. They're logical guys.
Yeah.
There's a reason for.
Are they bad
attack.
good guys? Brian?
No, they're not.
Or good bad guys?
I mean, there could only be 4 of us, but maybe we'll let them in. Joe, yeah,
I mean, with Seth and Drew,
yeah,
like Seth gave his reason why, because he respected Jay and Sammy, and they didn't deserve to be attacked, but it's kind of weak.
I know. But it's like, well, that's what I was thinking too when that happened on Raw. Going, is this the first little seed being planted or something like that? And I'm glad you guys.
Kevin is right. Drew is right.
And Seth obviously got a lot of stuff being built up too. So, yeah, love to see it happen. That would be.
Who
so
else
cool.
is out there that could be like a fourth who has had problems with them in the past, but also could logically be like screw it. Don't make it 4, make it 5. Have New Day join them because they have a reason for their. You can say heel turn, but I don't even think it's a heel turn. Because they have a reason for it and no one's listening to them. So they're like, we're not going to say anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I could see something like that. It seems like it could get a little messy. But... Yeah. There's a lot going on there, but some common threads. Speaking of Raw, before we get into some more of the stuff that happened on Monday.
Did you hear it's going to Netflix on January 6th?
Yep, I put that in my rundown. Netflix debut January 6th.
Cool.
It's coming up. So we got some official matches set for this, and they're talking about, Joe, you said Saturday Night Live was like PLE light. This is PLE heavy. We got Punk and Rollins official. That was the rumor. It's now official. Roman Reigns and Solo in tribal combat. And I think we all hope that the final chapter in Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Jay, anything of those 3 that you're like, this is what I'm most excited for, or anything else you want to make sure that happens on the Netflix debut?
I mean, I think it is what it is. The YouTube special at WWE headquarters on Wednesday was really cool, the way they did it. Kevin Owens, star of the show. If you see on their YouTube channel a clip, they have a wall of all their champions. So he found a picture of himself and taped it over Cody Rhodes' face while carrying the winged eagle around.
I saw that he's carrying that. That's pretty cool.
No, I mean, look, they need to go big. You know, is Cody going to be on this show? Like, are they just going to load it all up, but then everybody goes back to normal, when the transfer portal closes? Is it a one time only? Cody's on Netflix or whomever, But it'll be good. I have no doubt. January 6th, Raw is moving to Netflix if you haven't heard.
Love it. Joe?
They have to go big. It's a bigger audience now. So it is a PLE. I mean, because Netflix, so that means more homes have Netflix than USA Network did. So
Yeah.
it's going to be bigger than Saturday night's main event. They're already pushing it. Like, I mean, I was expecting Punk versus Seth to happen at WrestleMania. Now we'll do it on January 6th.
I'm glad it's not.
Yeah.
That's too far to wait. And one of them will get hurt.
And quite honestly, we've been waiting for this since Punk made his debut on WWE Backstage when he called out Seth Rollins on Twitter. So it was like, this has been in the making for 5 years.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I'm glad but it doesn't mean it's the one and only match. It's not once in a lifetime. They learned from that mistake.
Yeah.
Will John Cena be on?
I do. Yeah. Will The Rock be on?
I hope not.
Yes. He'll be part of Tribal Combat.
Good call.
Will R-Truth be on?
Probably. They'll squeeze him in there somewhere with a backstage thing with the
And it's going to be 3 hours, correct?
I haven't heard.
That's what I've never seen it confirmed, but I've seen that's the plan.
It kind of has to be.
Yeah, you would have to think so.
I know Jason wants it to be 45 minutes long, but I think it needs to go back to 3 hours.
No, I love the 2-hour Raw, and I love a 1-hour wrestling show even better than a 2-hour Raw.
I think they've really found their groove in the last month in the 2-hour Raw.
Yeah.
And I just love how it fits in with just my evening of the main event's coming up. It's 9:40 right now. This is great. And I can do whatever I need to do after it's done.
Oh, I do like being in bed by 10:10 every Monday.
Yeah. Talk about old guy wins. This is all right.
I mean,
I gotta go to bed after 10 o'clock. Woo.
If it's gonna be 2 hours and it's gonna end at 10, we have no excuse to not do a post show every week.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. That's certainly doable. And yeah, we should definitely do one for this first one because of how loaded up it's going to be.
When is it?
It is January 6th on Netflix.
January 6th. Okay, Netflix.
As long as you're not anywhere near DC, I expect you to be on the podcast.
Ain't that the thing with the DVDs by mail? Why am I going to watch my wrestling on that?
That's right, baby. You get 4, you turn them back in, and get 4 more.
Never did DVD. We did streaming from the jump. We didn't
DVD. We did DVD to start off with, obviously. And the funny thing is, I still have one of them because they sent us 3 copies of Fred Claus one week. I kept returning it, and they kept giving it back. And it's like, you know what? Screw it. We're keeping it.
Is it in the red Netflix case?
Yeah, it is.
You need to put that shit hanging up in your little wrestling toy room back there.
What? Just the Netflix? I also have a Blockbuster.
Raw's going to Netflix on January 6th.
Oh, that makes sense.
It fits now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. I have I did that, and I
who
did
was
the
in Fred
Blockbuster
Claus?
at home. Fred Claus was Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, he's been on WWE, so it makes sense.
Oh, it does. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Just slide over that NWO belt or whatever at the top there, and make room for Fred Claus.
He was in a movie with you, Jason.
Oh yeah,
that's right. By my family.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Co-star.
Your co-star.
Mm-hmm.
Look it up, friends. Look it up.
I just found out I was in another movie. I was in a documentary series on Netflix. Mr. McMahon.
Oh yeah, they put some WrestleMania footage on there or something.
That's on my IMDb now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
All right. And
did you guys both finish the Mr. McMahon thing?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I finished it when it
Did
came
we
out.
talk about it?
No.
This
I
would
don't
be
think
like
we really did.
just a quick 30 seconds for me on the McMahon documentary. I didn't really know or learn much that I didn't already know. It was more of a this is WWE for me. A lot of the stuff I knew. I didn't know that he didn't know his dad for until he was like 14, but I don't know. I mean, it was all right. It wasn't great. I thought it was good. It was all right. Not great though.
My only thing about it was I felt bad for Shane.
Yeah.
That was it. Like I had sympathy for Shane and I could see him leaving, why he left and why he left again.
Right.
Yeah, that I took that away too. A lot of wanting daddy's approval, uh, all throughout
Never
his
getting it.
life. And I really liked. There was just some great like backstage footage and things that you never seen before, like Vince and Gorilla, like what him feeding the lines during Hell in the Cell of Shane and Taker,
Yeah.
and it had been like him saying like this isn't worth it, Shane, and then he immediately played JBL. This isn't worth it, Shane.
Well, do you
It was
remember
like,
CJ?
whoa, that's really how it is.
Do you remember when CJ was on our show earlier this year?
Yep.
Mhm.
He is in my ear on commentary at RWA.
Oh, I didn't know you guys do it like that.
Yeah. Because if there
Damn.
is a certain way they want us to shift the storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
or if he thinks we should lay out and let the crowd be the star of the
Yeah.
segment. Yeah, it's hard though. Trying to talk and then
I can't
hearing he's
imagine.
saying in my ear. And we also have a chat, like a group chat with my phone. I keep my phone up so that if he needs something or if I can't hear him, I'll just, so, but yeah, that's just how
Yeah.
it works, man.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, yeah. That seeing that live was like a very cool. You'd always hear, "Oh, Vince feeds the lines," and
And that's why
seeing that in
Foley
action
left.
was pretty cool.
That's my
Yeah,
fault.
exactly. He was like, "I'm tired of you yelling in my ear." So yeah, so there were some cool nuances, but like you said, didn't really learn anything brand new. And I mean, yeah, it definitely paints the uniqueness of Vince, I guess you can say, that for good and for bad. That's Vince McMahon, right? Monday Night Raw, couple cool things. Shout out to the War Raiders, man, new tag champs, and I'm really hoping this is like a increased focus. I think they said that Balor and McDonough, they only defended the titles 3 times in like half a year.
So much
So
fun. So much
it's
fun.
like, and they're great, and now they're not, the kind of the Viking aspect has kind of been pushed away. I saw a great interview with them after the match talking about the surgeries they've had and their kids, and like they're more real, but they're so fun in the ring.
If
So
you have
I
some
think that
time,
was absolutely right. The crowd was into it too, guys. I thought this was a great move, putting the belt on them.
so if you have time after you're done watching or listening to this, Ivar was on Chris Van Vliet Thursday today as we're recording. It was a really good listen. It was a really good listen about all the ups and downs and the injuries and some really cool stuff. So go check that out once you're done listening or watching this on YouTube.
Yeah, I know you've been a big fan of them since
Love
they
the
were
War
like
Raiders. I'm
warm.
so
They've
glad
been were they War Raiders and ROH
they're
or
War
War
Machine.
Machine? Yeah, that's it. So
But
it's
then
been a minute.
I imagine, so you won't know this. There's a character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe named War Machine.
Okay,
I'm sure there was
did
a
not know that.
Marvel, conflict there.
Copyright fun.
Yeah,
Like the incredible Hulk Hogan.
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. Joe, you like the move too?
Yeah, I did. I felt like the Finn and JD having the tag titles just didn't make sense anymore because JD is not a threat at all. And Finn needs to just go separate and keep chasing and be in the main event. And
Yeah.
JD can stick around playing video games with Carlito in the clubhouse with, the rest of the R gang bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is like the thing the last couple weeks and what's going on in socials too. You got Carlito and JD playing video games all the time and Dom wanting his nuggets. Are they children?
They're tendies.
Nuggies?
Nuggets and tendies are two different things, Joe.
And don't give them any dry tendies or dry nugs.
Dry rubs.
He's gonna dry dog that.
Dry dog them, whatever.
Dry
Yes.
dog.
Yeah. But are they
Yikes.
children?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Clubhouse.
And isn't that the problem with that was with New Day for a while? That they were too kiddie
No.
and they had to like I'm starting to lose interest in the Judgment Day.
See, I think Kitty worked for New Day because they were fan favorites, and
Right.
this is like the team we shouldn't be liking, and you just kind of like don't take it serious because of the reasons you said. I don't know. It's a very weird dynamic with them right now. I don't know if the split is going to happen, in the near
Right.
Well, the
future.
two
But
that just left are like the biggest badasses on the show.
yeah, yeah, and obviously the Liv and Dom thing is still huge. Rhea's the bodyguard, and then it's just a whole lot of floating around things.
Dom doesn't need Judgment Day.
Who, Dom?
Dom doesn't need
Not
him.
anymore.
No, he can go solo.
Mm-mm. What a transformation from that guy too. Like when you sent me that Nuggets video, Jay, I'm just like, look at that magnificent mustache and the giant mullet. I'm like, who is this kid from like 2-3 years ago who was just like completely clean shaven, short little cut, teaming with his daddy? I'm like, this
You
is
remember
Smiling all
on
the
this
time.
show, I asked if Logan Paul was a better wrestler than Dom Mysterio? Do you remember that? Because after that
Yes,
WrestleMania in
that was a
Dallas.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, he is, clearly.
Not anymore. Now, who
No,
knows?
it's
But
debatable.
they need to put those two as a team. That'd be a great tag.
God, it's crazy, man.
Also on
I love it.
Raw, there was a vignette, which is nice that these are coming back.
Yeah.
We haven't seen vignettes in a while. Now, a lot of people are saying that it's Penta. That zero with the line through it. I thought it was Ghostbusters. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if it is Penta, what do you guys think? I mean, I feel like we just talked about this a couple weeks back, but what do you think, Joe, about the vignette and what would you do with Penta?
I already said it before, but the vignette, I was like, gave me shades of Taz too. His
Okay,
vignette,
yeah.
and that was the best debut, which they fumbled like a month later. But keep him away from LWO, well, like Del Fantastic, everyone. Like have him Andrade. You know what? Andrade, you don't. It's not that big of a deal because Andrade can
He's a
fill into the
solo
mix.
act.
He's a solo act, and he can fill into the mix with anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see him like. I don't like. I feel like he could go anywhere. Have him go against Dom.
I like that.
Yeah,
That keeps Dom
I like
away
that a
from
lot.
Judgment Day, and that could be his solo as well.
and keeps Dom away from Ray too.
And it keeps Dom away from Ray. Like have him go. Like have his first feud be against Dom solo.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I
I
like
come up
that
with them
better than
sometimes.
mine because I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking, let's bring him in and have him feud with Ray. I was thinking that, but it's like,
Who do you
how
cheer? Who do you boo?
exactly. Well, yeah, my thought was, okay, this is how you get this guy as this like badass new guy outsider coming in. But I think you have a guaranteed crowd favorite if you go against Dom. So I like
Well,
that better.
with the segment that happened this week on TV, a lot of people think that Penta could be Ray's mystery partner against the New Day. They had that
Oh,
backstage.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I like Ray and Dragon Lee better because they're about the same size. Ray is so short compared to most guys, like it always looks weird. Ray and Dragon Lee look the part. They dress the part. They're in the same crew. I just would want Penta, I told you, just to be a badass motherfucker and make all the merch money on the masks the WWE is going to print that AEW did not. So I
Like
think,
From the
WCW didn't
barrio.
do the like WCW didn't do the mask for Ray. They made him take it
yeah,
off.
yeah, from the barrio.
The
Idiots.
barrio.
That's
Yeah.
it. Before we get into the TNA news, I have something I want to talk about.
Yeah. What's going on, man?
But before I get into this, I have counsel. They will be joining the show here shortly. we don't really talk about the independents very much here, other than I have a show. This happened, that happened, whatever. Recently, there is an independent wrestler making waves, crossing over into the world of grunge music. And my representation is Greg Thompson. You
I know
are
where this is
muted,
going.
Greg, so we need you to unmute yourself so that you can read our prepared statement based off of what is going on with the independent wrestler known as Stephen Flow and the grunge band Pearl Jam. Greg, please read our prepared statement.
Absolutely, I would be happy to. Last week was an exciting week for Pearl Jam fans. Tickets went on sale for the 2025 leg of the Dark Matter tour, and I'm sure many fans had tickets on their Christmas wish list, but the ticket release was a complete wreckage by Ticketmaster. What happened could not be undone, leaving many fans in the rearview mirror without tickets. Fans felt like they had a grievance with the band, wondering if it's been a life wasted supporting Pearl Jam for decades. Once we all took a breath, a moment to just breathe, a new man of the hour made us feel alive again. The fixer, Stephen Flow. He debuted at Super Wrestlers in Chicago. Many fans asking, "Who are you?" But soon found out he's the better man wrestling and Pearl Jam fans have all been waiting for. His opponent heard footsteps coming to the ring and buckled up for a match he would soon not forget. Stephen Flow is no bush leaguer and delivered a match even mankind would be proud of.
So, are you guys familiar with Stephen Flow?
Hey, Greg, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is amazing.
My Pearl Jam representation now goes through Greg Thompson. Anything that you need me for regarding the band Pearl Jam or Stephen Flow now goes through Greg Thompson.
Putting that on my phone now, yeah. Greg, I'd seen some clip like in the last week or two of just that Stephen Flow. He's a Pearl Jam wrestler, and I went, "Wow, that's amazing." But that's all I knew.
Jason sent me a text like Tuesday morning, and all it said is, "I found your new favorite wrestler." And I clicked the link, and I was completely blown away. And then had a deep dive into the Super Wrestlers, which is incredible if you've never seen it before.
Okay.
And what's cool about Stephen Flow, his song, his entrance song is just Stephen Flow. It's all Stephen Flow, the whole song. And
that's awesome.
He wears a flannel. He looks like Eddie Vedder. And you remember, well, Greg obviously knows this, but you guys, Eddie Vedder would always climb on shit.
Yeah.
Stephen Flow climbs on shit to get into the ring.
That's great. Wow.
So, I know it's kind of rough to get to indie shows at this time of year. But in 2025, do your part. Go support guys like Stephen Flow, the greatest indie name. You know, when I did my wrestling school a couple years ago, we had to create a character. And I was living in LA. And I could not come up with a name. And then I thought about like, well, where do I live? And, you know, I grew up in a town called Bell Vernon. So I'm like, I'll be Vernon Bell. No one will connect it because it's the West Coast. I can't use that name here. Yeah. So like guys like Stephen Flow, Candy Cane, Cocaine, Blue
Cocaine. I'm saying cocaine.
And Greg, did you Google the one I told you to? Stone Cold E.T.
Yes. Oh my God. That was amazing. The time that somebody put into coming up with that is awesome. And the fact that the Stephen Flow name has been out there for 30 plus years and nobody ever made the connection, and we're just now getting to it, is amazing.
Yeah. Wait, is it a thing in Pearl Jam?
No. But like that joke, like if you think about it, it's such an easy joke to make, right? And for 30 years, nobody ever came up with it. And then he was on a podcast, the State of Love and Trust podcast. It's a Pearl Jam podcast the other day. and he talked about how it was about 2 years ago that he came up with the name with the guy that actually is Cocaine helped him develop this name. Yeah,
it's a superpower here.
Yeah.
And then, Greg, you were telling me today that Pearl Jam fan groups are losing their shit over this guy because they think they're disrespecting the music.
So it's a smaller group that is, after I started looking into it, there's a small group that it kind of like likens to the people that go see a movie and they want everything to be The Godfather. They take everything seriously. But the vast majority of the Pearl Jam fans now are in on the joke. And there's actually a little subtext, a subtopic on the main 10 Club message board that says wrestling still reads real to me. And then it's a whole bunch of people talking about how much they love it.
That's good. That's good.
There
it is, Joe.
There it is.
Wow.
So moving forward in the year 2025 and beyond, as long as I can afford him, as my Pearl Jam representation, all requests need to go through Gregory Thompson moving forward.
I'll take him. My phone line is always open.
That's more than fair. Are you officially in the show in Pittsburgh, the 2 shows?
So this is the
touchy subject, Brian.
Yeah.
That's why, because I was trying to get with that.
We asked the hard hitting questions on TWP.
So I'm definitely in for the Sunday show. I'll go to the Friday show somehow. The pre-release to 10 Club members was not run as well as it usually is, and I figured that I might not get both, that I'd only get one, but I didn't even get one. I had to go through the regular ticket process to get tickets for the
pours.
So but it was really weird. Like, it was supposed to be, I think the top price was supposed to be $185, and then when you log on, there were all these prices that were way above that were not supposed to be happening. So there was some sort of miscommunication or some resale that got done that shouldn't have got done. So it's been a touchy subject for a lot of Pearl Jam fans right now.
And I thought Pearl Jam kicked Ticketmaster's ass like 30 years ago.
That was a while.
They fought the man. Now maybe they've become the man. I don't know.
Yeah, way to sell out there.
Yeah. So, feud that never ends.
Before we let you go, Greg, did you get a chance to watch Saturday night's main event on Saturday?
Yes, I did. It was great.
What did you think?
I thought it was really good. It's a solid show. For something that was over regular TV, which they haven't done in a long time, I thought it was a really well put together show. I was a little disappointed. I thought maybe there would be a title change in there, but I think what they did at the end, and now seeing KO walk around with the belt, it's pretty awesome.
And did you know that Raw is moving to Netflix January 6th?
I had no idea. They've been hiding this. I'm glad that you told me. If you wouldn't have told me, I never would have known.
Breaking news on TWP. Hard-hitting questions and breaking news.
Well, Greg, thank you for our prepared statement.
Yeah.
You are definitely welcome back any other time. We are getting ready for our Christmas show that'll air next week. In 2 weeks, the Twippies, our award extravaganza, Brian's favorite. And spoiler for you, Brian's gifts did not arrive. So
there's still time. But there is an Amazon strike going on, as I found out an hour ago. So I'm just shooting myself in the head, but there's still time.
So
we'll see. By the way, I think I know Stephen Flo's mixed tag partner. That would be one Allison Chains.
Mixed tag, nice. Allison Chains. Their manager is an older, established female talent, Abby Rhodes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, classic. All right,
Greg. Thanks for doing this, man.
See you guys.
Greg, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, buddy.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Hey, buddy.
That's awesome.
So, Kevin, in the midst of
Kevin's here, by the way.
I feel like my mind is blown right now.
It's so funny because Greg's logging in and Kevin was fucking like
I feel like
later.
I feel like I just watched wrestling for the first time in the Monday Night Wars. I don't know what to expect at the current moment. I
walked the hotline.
Now, whose side is he on?
I joined in. I don't know. I thought it was like a haku. And then I realized it was like a poem and then like a sonnet. And then I just put myself on mute and I was like, wow, what a time to be alive when I was listening to that Pearl Jam.
Did you catch all of the song references?
I caught
a couple at least. Yeah.
At least 7 or 8.
All right.
That was
our
fantastic
draft today of this. Dark Matter. Somebody keep count as I call these. Dark Matter, Wish List, Release, Wreckage, Undone, Rearview Mirror, Grievance, Life Wasted, Once, Breath / Moment, Just Breathe, Man of the Hour, Alive, The Fixer, Who Are You, Footsteps, Buckled Up, Soon Forget, Bush Leaguer, Mankind.
Even
It's like
20.
20 or 21.
20.
Wow.
I will say
work of
this.
art.
That's 18 more songs that I knew existed.
I just wish he would have hit a Last Kiss, because Last Kiss is the worst fucking Pearl Jam song in the world. It's so bad, and he admits it. All these hardcores of, Pearl Jam can do no wrong. Last Kiss was fucking awful and fucking. Kevin,
Steven Flo.
we are just getting into Tessa Blanchard returning at TNA.
Oh my god. Yeah, what a what a fun little thing to have, like the one serious thing on the show here.
I'm a fan of Tessa Blanchard. Not what she did and the bullying and the comments and stuff like that, but Booker T even said it's time to let it go. You don't have to be friends. You just got to work and make money. So she showed up at the event over the weekend. She's going after Jordan Grace and the TNA Knockouts title. Jordan Grace's contract is allegedly up soon. So I'm sure we'll see her at the Royal Rumble and then on the main roster for WWE full-time after that. But there are talks that people in WWE want to work with Tessa through the partnership with TNA. Or it's not a partnership, it is a talent swap. I heard that official today. So who wants to talk about second chances, Tessa Blanchard, WWE, TNA, and other assorted Tessa related items?
Let's let Kevin talk.
Yeah,
I'll
go.
Hopped on here.
So I am a full advocate of second chances in life. I am. Within reason. Everybody is going to have a bad day, bad period of their time where they might make some mistakes, right? Might put certain people down, not act in their true character. But when I did read with some racism type stuff, that's where it gets a little tricky. That's my only pushback from ever a second chance, because I feel like once you get into that type of realm, that's kind of who you are. And I feel like I truly do. Once you get to that point, I feel like those are very, even if they're hidden type situations, it's what you truly feel, right? Jay, me and you kind of had fisticuffs back in the day, right? Second chances. Now we're boys, right? Yes. That was dumb shit. People make dumb type stuff.
Yeah.
The under cover type stuff, that's where it just gets a little bit tricky with me.
Well, the thing
is, I think she deserves it? I want to have an open mind, right? I feel like the WWE is an extremely diverse community, and I feel like they're very family in their talent. I feel like if she ever got there, she would have to make some huge, I will say, out of shell experiences to make it up for it.
Well, now there's rumors that she has apologized to all these people that she was awful to.
Yeah.
We don't know. We're not there.
Yeah.
I've had 2 experiences with Tessa Blanchard. One as a fan, and one when I did ring crew for WOW, Women of Wrestling. When I was a fan of the show, she was fine. She was like, I was like, hey, can I get a picture? But she was walking, so like it couldn't happen. No big deal. I get that. The video shoot that I was part of the ring crew. She needed help. The dressing rooms were downstairs, and it was an old building, and she had a really heavy suitcase. So she asked if I could come help, and I did, and she was super nice to me. Obviously, I don't know the stuff, but I've been hoping she returns for 2 years now. I think um, on my year
Predictions.
predictions from last year, I think I said Tessa was going to return in 2024 because she was starting to post more on Instagram. So I guess I'm right. So again, I know.
Maybe. Yeah.
Brian, Joe, any thoughts on Tessa and everything that goes along with it?
Yeah, this is the wrestling business, and people get second chances, third chances,
Yeah.
fourth chances. So it's not surprising in that sense. I do agree with Kevin as far as like, we're not there, but yeah, like whenever she appeared, then like you would see uh tweets from like Chelsea Green of like, I think in reaction, like Tessa was like, I'm being bullied or whatever. And she was like, yeah, like, hello, that's what you were doing to us all this time. I'm paraphrasing here, but basically saying, yeah, these allegations, were things that actually had happened. So yeah, if you apologize and say, hey, I've learned my ways, I'm a better person now, then it doesn't surprise me. She's very, very talented. I think she was TNA like champion, not women's
Yeah, she
champion,
was the
knockouts.
heavyweight champ.
The champ, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what the company, thought of her and invested in her to be like, yeah, you're the actual champ. So yeah, it's tough for me to have judgment because we're not, part of the day to day. But it doesn't surprise me. I just hope, yeah, it's all together for the right reasons.
Joe, anything?
I kind of agree with Kevin a little bit too. It's like those feelings don't really go, like it's hard to say if they really go away. So
Yeah.
I wasn't there, can't say anything about that, but it's like Kevin, you brought up a good point, and I think back of Hogan,
Yeah.
he had to like he's a way bigger name,
Yeah.
and there are still people who say
Fuck that guy.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's not welcome back. So it's not a good look if she went to WWE for two reasons. One, they brought Hogan back, but he's Hulk Hogan, and it
Right.
wasn't very warmly welcome. And two, the people of color not being represented on PLEs is still an issue out in the community, and this would not be a good look for a company that's saying they use the excuse of they don't see color, but then I think that WWE needs to stay far away from this one, but second chances in TNA, that's fine. But on the big stage like this, I think we need to slow down.
Let's give it some
Take
time.
some time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slow
Exactly.
down. Slow down.
She does look like $1 million though.
Always does. And I have never heard somebody run the ropes as hard as she does. It is deafening, the noise that the ring makes when she's just going back and forth. It is insane. So, and if you're
interesting
watching this or listening to this and you think I condone what she did because I'm a fan of her work in the ring, you need to talk to somebody because I don't condone the racism. But I do believe second chances should happen. It may just take, and she's been gone a few years now, so it's not like it just happened and then she came back.
Right.
So Booker T said, "Let's go, let's make some money and move forward." And I guess we'll just see what happens next. I mean, I think that's the most we've talked about TNA in the 3.5 years of this show's existence.
Yeah. I mean, when I went to the house show a couple weeks ago, that might be it. when I had my little experience with Harper and the walking wiener chant with Harper.
Walking wiener.
That I'll remember that always. All right, before we go, does anybody have a spot of the week? I do have one. We're trying to make this a thing, guys. All right, I see Joe shaking his head, so I'll start. Darby Allin and Will Ospreay put on a hell of a match on Dynamite. It might be my favorite Dynamite match of the year. It was great back and forth. Didn't know who was going to win, which is kind of my biggest pet peeve when it comes to like great matches of like, well, but so-and-so's going to win, and it takes me out of it. And there's a number of spots I could pick, but Darby did the classic Darby, just the coffin drop from the top rope onto the outside apron, but he didn't hit it flat. He hit it right in the corner that his body, as soon as he hit it, 90 degrees and onto the floor. Like, I'm watching that. He is not a big dude, and I'm like, maybe this is the time you're seriously injured, but apparently not, because he gets up and wrestles another like 12 minutes. So that was my spot of the week. That I'm just like, I shouldn't be surprised because I've seen Darby Allin for 5 years now, and he does something crazy in every match.
Yeah.
But that's the one that I did. Saw it and went, Jesus, dude. Like, what? This is crazy. So that's my spot of the week.
I got 2, both from AEW. FTR talking about they're not medically cleared till January 1st, and they're not coming alone. Dynamite is in Asheville, North Carolina. Adam Copeland is going to return.
On this day.
But my in-ring moment is when the Hurt Syndicate beat the shit out of Steve Urkel.
Oh, I see what you did.
Yeah, well, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
he
there's
looks
something
like
going.
Steve Urkel.
Not
What
Steve,
is he
not
doing?
Stefan Urkel.
No.
Stefan Urkel.
No,
I am glad they ripped that card up, and I am glad that he got his ass kicked. And I'm glad they're on the crew, so maybe I can join the Hurt Syndicate next.
But don't be a kiss ass. They don't like that.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah,
Nope.
Lashley will choke you like a bitch.
Throw me into the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, that was great of him not to resign and go to AEW.
Yeah,
he's doing wonders there.
What is that?
It's a ricochet.
That's a thing. That's clearly a thing.
I'm stuck up his ass. Yeah,
like the Pillsbury
Doughboy. Yeah. Anybody else?
That's good.
The Styles clash.
That same match.
Darby again.
Just with the rotation where it was teased slowly, and you're like, is he really going to go off the edge onto the end?
I thought because they're both good guys, he wasn't going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
When I saw it, well, and he went, I'll say 70% power, and then he didn't go all the way, like chest to back, right? He let go, but ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. And I was just like, how is he going to move the next day?
Ospreay is amazing.
That's both. Yeah. Darby got it.
It was a great matchup. Great matchup. Yeah. Joe, nothing?
No
one move that you were like, that was really good this week.
Nothing really stood out, but it's also been a very tiring week. The last week before break is just exhausting. So I might have been working most of these shows. So
got it.
Didn't have full attention.
There's always next week. And speaking of next week, it is the Christmas gift episode. Jay, tell everybody what's to come next week, real quick.
Next week, the day after Christmas, it's our 3rd annual Christmas show. Is it 3rd? Yeah, it's the 3rd.
5th.
It gotta be at least.
We haven't been doing this 5 years, Kevin.
I think it's been the
5 years.
4th.
So it's just a gift exchange.
It's the 32nd annual
Christmas stuff, Christmas wrestling, kind of like 200. We can talk about what we think the next year is going to bring for the show and for us individually and stuff like that. And 2 Christmases ago, I almost made Kevin cry.
Truth.
This year, I think I got Brian.
You told me that the other day. I can't believe this.
Yeah, so next week,
Man.
The show will come out probably Thursday. No, we'll do. I don't know. It'll come out at some point. Yeah, we're gonna
stay tuned to socials.
We're recording early next week, so it just depends when I want to put it out. So the Christmas show next week, and then the Twippies in 2 weeks.
It's a great time of the year, guys. All right. On that note, youtube.com/That Wrestling Podcast. At That WrestlePod is the social media, and whatamaneuver.net for your merchandise needs. We'll talk to you next week for some Christmas fun. As always, enjoy wrestling.
Thanks for watching That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for more That Wrestling Podcast content, follow @ThatWrestlePod on social media.